I read all of the verses in the hadith about the prophets. Imam, I was in California, UCLA, and I gave a test to the students. And I gave the same test to the students at the University of Toronto. When I came back to New York, I gave the students there the same test. And in another city. And I would like to give some of that test tonight, inshallah. If you know the answer, I want you to raise your hand. Or if you think you know the answer. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, taught us that every human being that's born, every one of them, everyone is touched by shaitan at his birth, except two people. If you think you know the answer, the two exceptions, raise your hand. If you think you know the answer, just raise them up. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, said that every human being that's touched, that's born is touched by shaitan, except two people. Jesus and his mother, Miriam. You should ask the question, why? It's a very literal audience. If you go in the Quran, you will understand the significance of grandmothers. And the answer lies within the Quran in the dua of the grandmother of Jesus. I'll let you study that yourself. You see it's right there, plain black and white. Oh, grandmothers, very powerful. I look at us tonight, how well dressed we are, in our beautiful dresses and our beautiful suits. Very nice. But guess what? In a few days, when we die, all of these great finery of clothing we won't take with us. And for sure, we will be resurrected, for sure. And guess what? Everybody, without any exception, will be resurrected naked. Am I right? Come on now, am I right? Naked. Same way you came in. You think you're going out with something? You came in naked. Remember or you forgot? You came in with nothing. Remember all that money you got, the job you have, the home you have, the clothing you have, the children you have, the money you have, the bank account you have. When you came in, you had nothing. And when you go out, you have nothing. You be resurrected naked. And Aisha, the wife of the prophet, said, aren't the men and women going to look at each other? He said, no, not that day. You be too busy worrying about what's going to happen to you with your Lord. See, you ain't going to be looking at no, oh, look at that. Not that day, brother. Trust me. But guess what? Even though we will be resurrected naked, we will be clothed. Question number 2. Who will be the first human being clothed on the day of resurrection? If you think you know the answer, raise your hand. Yes, ma'am. Prophet Ibrahim, yes, alayhi salat wasalam, will be the first human being that is clothed on the day of judgment. Allahu Akbar. Don't ask me why. You gotta wait till I ask you. Number 3, when the horn will be blown for the first time, every human thing, everything alive will lose consciousness. And when the horn is blown a second time, who will be the first one to arise from consciousness or into consciousness? If you think you know the answer, raise your hand. Yes. No. Good guess. If you think you know the answer, same sister. Nam? Prophet Muhammad? Allahu Akbar. Wrong. That's a good guess. Yes. Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Prophet Moses will be the first one to raise from consciousness. I can tell you why. That I can tell you, but I won't. No, because we don't have time. I just want you to just come along with me for a moment. I'm making a point here. The Quran mentions the prophets. In one person in the Quran, Allah spoke to directly. That was Prophet Musa. Finally, my last question. Which prayer of what person is most beloved by Allah? Of all of the people in creation, whose prayer is most loved by Allah? If you think you know the answer, raise your hand. Yes, ma'am. Huh? Okay, the crying believer, that's good. Now I want a specific name. Same sister. Allahu Akbar, Prophet Dawood, correct. Listen to what the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And all of these things, sisters and brothers, they have meaning. Inna habbu salat illallah salatu Dawood. Kana yanamu nifsa al-layl wa yakumu thuluthahu wa yanamu sudusahu. The most beloved prayer to Allah is the prayer of Prophet David, Prophet Dawood. Why? Because he used to sleep half the night, stand up in prayer 1/3 of the night, and go back to sleep 1/6 of the night. But why? What's the reason? What's the wisdom? Someone asked the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Man akramun nas?" Who is the most honorable of persons? He says, Yusuf, Joseph, a prophet and the son of a prophet and the grandson of a prophet and the great grandson of a prophet, Prophet Yusuf or Joseph. Now, brothers and sisters, I conclude. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, said that none of you must say that I'm better than Jonah. And he who says, listen, he who says I, me the prophet, is better than Jonah is a liar. It's in the hadith. And Imam, I put all these together. And I said, I got it. The spirit that we must have in this community must be the same spirit as the prophets, and not the spirit of shaitan. What do you mean by that? Our prophet didn't say, I'm the most honorable, I'm me, I, me, like shaitan, like Iblis, ana, me. This is where you begin to fall when you say me, ana, me. What happened to nahnu, we? What happened to Allah? First and foremost. And I said, now I got it, Imam. I got it. I think I understand a little bit.